Today we're going to do our soil composition test. So what is that? That is where I mix water and soil just to see what the composition is. And good loamy garden soil is going to be 40% sand, 40% silt, 20% clay, right? That's to have some well-draining, good garden soil. You don't have to have that to grow in. Is it better? Absolutely. So how we do this is we go about 4 to 6 inches in the ground, 3 to 6 inches into the ground and collect a soil sample, right? And we fill our mason jar halfway full. You want a good measurement to know that measurement. So I do about the halfway mark. You beat it around because there's a lot of air pockets in there. Then we're going to take distilled water. We're going to fill her up. Then we're going to shake her up. And within 24 hours, she should clear up. Sometimes it takes about 2 days. We're going to stop at that 1 inch head space. Sometimes it takes about 24 hours to clear up. I almost really did that. But most of the time, she's done within that 24 hours. Shake her up real, real good. We're going to leave her. We're going to come back here in a minute. Well, 24 hours from now and check it. This time it actually took 2 days and I left her outside so she froze. Thankfully, it didn't burst because that's in a mason jar. So here's the results. Show you a little bit of what we got. We still got a little bit of a clay material in that water. It's one of the lightest particles, so it settles last, and that's why it's a little cloudy. But as you see, there's the clay line. Most of this is silt. That's a little lighter, and then the rest of that is all sand. And if you remember last year, me telling you the reason why there is more sand and silt than there is clay, because in the area of Arkansas I'm in, over here in Scott County in the Ouachitas, there should be a little bit more clay. But the reason for this is because right over here is this ridge, right? The little eyelash filter. That thing automatically loads whenever I'm recording content and I have to click off of it. Well, anyways, we've got this ridge, right? So when it rains and that erosion happens, that natural erosion, that sand particle is one of the heaviest, and then the silt. So those kind of settle in this garden area first, and then the clay kind of gets pushed out there more towards the bamboo. So this year in the garden, I'll be adding alfalfa cubes and pellets, right? That's a nitrogen source, and it helps kind of fluff up the soil. Tons of leaf litter. I'm going to take the leaf blower and come up off that ridge and just harvest all those leaves, dead leaves. I'll be adding rabbit poop, chicken poop that's kind of been composted, and whatever compost I do have in my compost pile, because I was a very bad gardener about composting this year. Gotta do better. For good loamy garden soil, you do want 40% sand, 40% silt, 20% clay, and I obviously have way more sand, but not as much sand as last year.